celebrities calling out the Blue Horizon all-female space nonsense. Now even Wendy's is roasting them.
Flint, I got you. Flint.
And think about how many resources went into putting these women into space. For what? I'm disgusted, literally.
Let's set the scene, babe. Katy Perry, pop icon, fashion risk taker, firework launching queen, made headlines when she joined an all-female Blue Origin crew for a space mission that was supposed to be bold, empowering, and headline dominating.
Oh my God. They're training? They did 2 days.
She wasn't just showing up for a performance or a perfume drop. No, Miss Thing went to space. Like outer space, zero gravity, astronaut realness, all while representing women in pop and power suits.
Trouble when the fast food giant Wendy's is taking aim on you on social media, and boy did they ever.
It was supposed to be a cultural reset. She was literally orbiting above us. But honey, the internet did not let her have one moment. Instead of celebrating Katy's cosmic glow-up, the minute her spaceship touched back down, the timeline decided to roast her harder than the surface of Mercury.
Space nonsense, for calling it out for what it is, which was a just disgustingly weird, fake PR stunt.
And the gag? The shade didn't come from haters or even other celebs. It came from a fast food chain. Yes, the downfall of her moment started with Wendy's. You know, the burger chain with the snarky Twitter account that tries to stay relevant by roasting people for clout. Well, when Katy's landing hit the news cycle, Wendy's posted 4 words that lit Twitter X on fire. Can we send her back? That was it. No punctuation, no explanation, just shade.
Oh my God. They're training? They did 2 days.
And suddenly, this historic moment for women in entertainment, space travel, and beyond, reduced to a punchline by a fast food mascot with a messy social team. Girl, it was on from there.
Their tasks included practicing how to get into and out of the New Shepard capsule.
Now, normally when someone gets roasted online, it fizzles in a few hours. But this blew up. And not in the way Katy or Blue Origin wanted. Hashtags like "send her back" started trending, not because people were actually mad at the brand, but because everyone had something to say. Some were eating the tweet up like it was a Baconator, calling it iconic, unfiltered, and the only thing Wendy's has served hot this year. Others were calling it tone-deaf, mean-spirited, and just plain nasty, especially considering Katy literally risked her life for a once-in-a-lifetime mission.
It was Wendy's, the red-haired fast food chain, that really put them in their place.
You had people posting things like, "She goes to space and still gets bullied. Y'all are sick." While others were like, "That Wendy's tweet is the first thing that's made me laugh in 2025. And babe, once the memes started rolling in, it was over. Side-by-side pics of Katy in her flight suit with Wendy's. Logo edits. TikToks with space-themed roasts. Even Duolingo's Twitter jumped in with a snide little, "We hope they taught her how to read the room in zero gravity." Like, girl, not even the owl was safe.
Can we send her back? That was the response here as Katy Perry has returned from space.
Let's talk about this growing trend, where brands are more focused on punchlines than product. Wendy's didn't just tweet a funny one-liner, they turned a woman's legit achievement into a meme. And the worst part, they didn't even try to apologize. When backlash started, they gave a lukewarm, vague, "We bring spice to socials, but have respect for Katy Perry and her out-of-this-world talent." Babe, that's not an apology. That's corporate gaslighting wrapped in a PR tortilla. Meanwhile, multiple outlets confirmed that Katy and her team were blindsided and reportedly hurt by the comment. According to Page 6 and Variety, insiders said she was stung by the shade and felt like she'd been publicly humiliated over something that should have been a career-defining high. And honestly, who can blame her? She just spent days training. For a life-risking mission, partnered with names like Lauren Sanchez and Gayle King, gave us her best astronaut Barbie glam. And what does she come back to? Wendy's calling her cringe. The brands really said, "Forget your legacy, babe. You're trending now."
After you go through an experience like that, you are more than a team. You are family.
So, you'd think Wendy's would have been the only one bold enough to throw shade at Katy's spaceflight, right? Girl, absolutely not. Once Wendy's kicked the door open with that "Can we send her back?" tweet, it was like the whole Internet got a memo that it was open season on Katy Perry. Brands that had no business being in this conversation started chiming in, and it turned her spaceflight from a global first into a corporate comedy roast. Duolingo, that shady little owl, replied with, "Hopefully she learned how to land a joke up there." Netflix's UK account posted a meme from Don't Look Up captioned, "Katy on the way back after realizing no one missed her." Even Slim Jim, yes, Slim Jim tweeted, "Still less dry than that last album." And like, at that point, it was giving middle school energy. All these brands were basically the mean girls at the lunch table watching one queen trip in heels and deciding now's their chance to take the crown. It was petty, it was excessive, and it was planned, because let's not pretend this was spontaneous. These companies have full teams writing tweets, getting approvals, analyzing vibes. Someone greenlit that Wendy's tweet, and when it popped off, other brands saw the engagement and thought, let's ride the wave. It's not even about being funny anymore. It's about clout marketing, where dragging someone publicly gets you likes, retweets, and coverage in Variety. And Katy was the perfect target because the internet had already labeled her as safe to mock.
They are not holding back, and they're not deleting it, and I say bravo. This isn't mean, this is criticism.
Okay, now buckle up, because it wasn't just brands tossing shade. Some fans swear that a few celebs, allegedly, joined in too. Kesha, who's had tension with Katy for years, posted a very cryptic story right after the Wendy's tweet blew up. It was just a black screen with the words, "Sometimes karma needs a launch pad." No tags, no mention of names. But babe, the timing was suspicious, and the Katy cats immediately clocked it as a shot. Then Dua Lipa, who's known for keeping it cute and staying in her lane, posted a carousel with the caption "Stay grounded" literally the day after Katy landed. And the top photo? A jet in the sky. Coincidence? Maybe. But again, the timing, fans in the comments were already connecting the dots with replies like, "This better not be space shade," and "Not you jumping on the bandwagon." It's giving silent rivalry. Because here's the thing, the pop girls may not always say it directly, but the shade is always there. Katy's space stunt had potential to outshine their current press cycles. But the second it flopped on social, the wolves came out. Quietly, elegantly, but oh babe, they came out. Because in the pop industry, if your peer's name is trending for the wrong reason and your name slips into the convo just enough, that's PR gold.
Jeff
National Space
Bezos
Station.
basically put his girlfriend and her pals into a giant vibrator, shot them into orbit for 10 minutes.
Let's not forget, Katy has been on a very public journey to win back the narrative. After years of being called outdated, cringe, and the queen of flop eras, she's been slowly, carefully clawing her way back. American Idol helped. Her Vegas residency showed she still has stage power, and the Blue Origin spaceflight, that was supposed to be the ultimate rebrand. It wasn't just a flex, it was meant to be symbolic. Look, I'm not the girl in the cupcake bra anymore. I'm grown, I'm serious, I'm above the drama, literally. But now it's like the universe pulled her back to earth just to remind her she can't escape the meme version of herself. The effort, the evolution, the branding, all torched by a single fast food tweet. And that's what's really heartbreaking. Because Katy wasn't out here being messy. She wasn't in a scandal. She wasn't dragging anyone else. She went to space and still got dragged for it. It's like no matter how hard she tries to reinvent, the internet is determined to make her the punchline. And you can feel her frustration, her silence, loud, her team, radio, silent. Because they probably don't even know how to spin this. How do you fix humiliation when it didn't come from a controversy, but from everyone laughing at you at once?
Was this really worthy? And not to mention now there's old theories that this whole thing was faked.
Now here's where we get real. Katy's humiliation didn't happen in a vacuum. It's a sign of something bigger, the way women in pop are treated when they try to evolve. The second a female celeb steps out of the box the public put her in, she's either labeled desperate, irrelevant, or embarrassing. God forbid she take a risk, especially one that doesn't fit the cute little lane she started in. Katy doing a spaceflight should have been iconic, groundbreaking, a conversation about expanding what it means to be a pop star. Instead, she got memmed into orbit because the public decided she wasn't cool enough to do something that bold. It's not about the flight, it's about how women in the spotlight aren't allowed to evolve without being ridiculed for the journey. And, babe, it's scary. Because if this can happen to Katy freaking Perry with all her money, her fans, her platform, what hope is there for any woman trying to change lanes without getting roasted into oblivion? The internet doesn't just judge women, it punishes them for refusing to be small.
Talking
All
about
their
getting in
training.
and out of a car. Basically.
All their training. It comes down to
Yeah.
this. Can we hear the beginning of that again? I need to hear that again. Let's just play it again.
So here's what's wild. After all the coverage, all the viral reactions, and all the brand shade, you'd think Katy would have hit back with a clapback, or at least a cute comment. But babe, silence. Total radio silence. Not even a single "thanks for the memes" story. No cute IG post. No subtle shade. Her socials have been quiet, and the vibe absolutely wounded, which is saying something because Katy is known for playing it up. She's always been in on the joke, until now. And that silence, it speaks volumes. Her team isn't spinning the story. No one's leaking Katy's unbothered headlines. It's like her PR machine short-circuited from the shock. And honestly, that might be the most telling part of this whole thing. Because when a celebrity's team doesn't even try to do damage control, it usually means one thing. They don't know how. This wasn't a scandal they could deny. It wasn't drama they could flip. It was just public humiliation. And a reminder that the internet can and will turn anything into a joke, even a literal rocket launch.
I think people are being mean here. We're over it, and we're over the fakeness.
Here's where it gets dark. Because behind the memes, the giggles, and the retweets, the industry is watching. Executives, sponsors, brands. They all saw how fast Katy's moment spiraled. And when you're in Katy's position, where every move is being watched through the lens of comeback or cringe, this kind of viral backlash can cost you more than just a headline. It can cost you jobs, campaigns, partnerships, momentum. Insiders are already whispering that a few potential endorsement deals have gone cold. Some brands that were planning space-themed collabs quietly paused. One fashion house that was in talks with her team reportedly decided to shift focus to less divisive personalities. Babe, less divisive, over a tweet? And yet, that's how it works. Because in the eyes of these brands, virality shelf risk. If the public's laughing at you instead of with you, they back out fast. And what sucks the most? None of this was Katy's fault. She didn't cause drama. She didn't insult anyone. She didn't drop a messy interview. She went to space, and they still dragged her. Like, what are the rules at this point?
And wear the suits that were designer and showed Lauren Sanchez's boobs. Okay.
Let's not forget how carefully planned this entire launch was. Katy's team had this time to perfection. The photos, the press, the exclusive interviews lined up with fashion and tech mags. It was meant to give reinvention, legacy era, Serena Williams in a spacesuit energy. This was months in the making. Blue Origin didn't just call her up the night before. This was a highly curated moment. One that took meetings, styling, training, branding, and calculated rollout. But the second that Wendy's tweet hit, it all unraveled. All that planning got buried under memes. All that effort got overshadowed by one viral joke. It's a brutal reminder that in today's media world, the best PR campaign can be destroyed by the right roast at the wrong time. And babe, let's be honest, that's scary. Because when even the smartest rebrand can't survive a 5-second tweet from a fast food chain, what hope is there for anyone trying to genuinely evolve in public?
People are objecting badly to Dr. Luke's presence on Katy Perry's new single is because the singer Kesha, who is a protege of his, accused him of sexually assaulting her in, I think, 2014.
This isn't the first time Katy's been dragged by the internet. We all remember the Witness-era meltdown, the pixie cut, the cringy dance moves, the SNL performances that got memed to death. She's taken L's before, and she's always managed to rise, reinvent, and laugh along the way. But this felt colder, sharper, like the public was waiting for her to make a bold move just so they could slap it down. The difference this time is that she wasn't trying to be funny, or kooky, or controversial. She was trying to do something aspirational, something outside the box. And they still said, nah, that's what hurts. That's what lands deeper than a music flop or a bad outfit. This was supposed to be her "you'll never guess what she did next" moment. Instead, it became the latest in a long list of public draggings that the internet doesn't seem interested in letting her escape from.
I am so bothered by it. You are not a feminist icon, Lauren Sanchez. You're not. You married someone very wealthy.
So here's the real tea. Is there any way Katy can spin this around? Can she reclaim the moment? babe, maybe. But it's going to take surgical level PR precision. She can't just laugh it off. She has to own it, control the chaos, maybe even do a full sit-down interview and say, yeah, I got roasted for going to space. Let's talk about why that's weird. Because that's the thing. If she ignores it, the moment wins. If she hides from it, the narrative stays in the hands of trolls and tweet threads. But if she calls it out, if she gets real about the humiliation and turns it into a commentary on how women in pop are treated, that's power. It's risky, but it's also very Katy. Because for all her quirk, camp, and chaotic career turns, the one thing Katy's always been good at, making noise. The question is, can she shift it from a roast to a rebirth?
Or perhaps a year or two before that. There was a long court battle. It was settled just last year. It was very damaging for both of them, quite honestly.
This spaceflight should have gone down as a historic cultural reset. Katy Perry, the girl who once shot whipped cream from her chest and danced with Left Shark, was literally rewriting the narrative. She was out here breaking boundaries, proving pop stars could be more than sequins and stadiums. She launched herself into outer space, babe. She should have been hailed as fearless, iconic, a walking headline. But what did she get instead? A tweet? A meme? A punchline? The fact that one fast food tweet did more numbers than the actual footage of her landing is proof that internet culture isn't just chaotic. It's cruel. And not in the funny, lighthearted way. In the way that takes someone's real evolution and trivializes it into a joke. This wasn't just trolling, it was a cultural rejection of a woman trying to be seen in a new light and being punished for it.
He maintained the entire time that he was innocent, that he did nothing.
Let's not play. This spaceflight was supposed to launch her next chapter. It was meant to be the thing that made people say, wait, Katy's doing what? And get curious again. That curiosity is crucial. It's what drives streaming numbers. It's what lands covers. It's what revives pop careers. But now, that curiosity has been replaced by mockery. Instead of, Katy went to space? Tell me more. We're hearing, oh right, the Wendy's girl. And when a meme becomes the headline, the real message gets lost in the static. This wasn't just a PR miss, it was a cultural misfire. And the most painful part, she did everything right. She trained, she showed up, she didn't mess it up. And still, the internet decided she wasn't worthy of the moment. That kind of public rejection doesn't just sting, it scars.
Look, I understand that it started a lot of conversations, and he was one of many collaborators that I collaborated with.
Let's talk about the double standard, because you know I'm not letting that slide. If this had been Taylor Swift blasting into orbit, the internet would have built her a constellation. If it had been Lady Gaga, it would have been declared a cultural event and sold out in 15 vinyl variants. But because it was Katy, suddenly it was embarrassing, desperate. What is she doing? The culture's not tired of pop stunts. It's tired of Katy's pop stunts. And babe, that's not a branding issue. That's a bias issue. The media decides who's allowed to evolve and when. And once you're labeled cringe, you could walk on water and they'd still ask why you looked awkward doing it. So let's stop pretending this was about the tweet. It wasn't. It was about the fact that the internet never forgave Katy for falling off. And now, anytime she dares to rise again, they mock her before she even gets to the finish line. Not Wendy's. Not really. They got some likes, some press, but they also exposed just how stale the sassy brand playbook is getting. It's overdone, and in this case, it came off mean, out of touch, and just plain tired. You don't look edgy dragging someone for doing something empowering. You look like a brand that peaked when memes still had impact font, not the media either. They spun the humiliation because it sold, but all they really did was remind everyone that they're quick to hype women when they're rising, and even quicker to profit when they fall. The only one who could still win? Katy, but only if she takes back control. This is her crossroads. She can either go quiet and let this be her legacy, or she can lean into it, name it, own it, and flip it like she always has. Because if there's one thing Katy Perry knows how to do, it's survive. From the early backlash to the tabloid years to Witness to Vegas, she always finds a way. She just needs to remind the world that you can mock the girl, but you can't erase the firework. So where does that leave us, babe? A pop legend went to space to rewrite her story, and the internet turned it into a roast. Brands used her for engagement. Celebs threw side eyes, and the press ran the humiliation headline faster than they ran the actual launch footage. But when the joke fades and the tweet is buried, Katy's still standing, and she's still got the kind of cultural imprint that doesn't disappear, even when it's being laughed at. Because being a pop star isn't about always winning the public over, it's about staying in the conversation, no matter how messy it gets. And if history tells us anything, it's that Katy doesn't go down easy. She gets memed, she gets mocked, and then she gets even. So what do you think, babe? Did Katy's space mission deserve more respect? Or was the internet just doing what it always does? Should brands be allowed to drag celebs for clicks? Or has Wendy's finally gone too far? And is this the end of Katy's redemption? Or the start of something iconic? Sound off in the comments, share your hot takes, and if you're living for these pop culture takedowns, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell. So you're always here for the next media mess, because the tweet went viral, the roast hit hard, but Katy, she's not finished yet.